Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kremer from Oakville, Canada, and today we are going to make this cute little shaker card. Now this is using retired Stampin' Up! Products, but that's okay. This is for a online kit class that I did. So I used frosted foliage for the frame. Here's the die. And then I used the sentiment, I believe this is from Whimsical Trees. And then this is also retired DSP that I used. But it all came with my kit, so let's get started. Now for this card here, I went and stamped directly onto the DSP. And what I'm going to show you is another method where we're going to stamp it using Stays On black ink, and we're going to stamp it right on the plastic. So let's hope this turns out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of tape down. I'm just going to tape my piece down so that it doesn't move. You could also use the Stamp-a-Magic thingy that we have. Gosh, I can't think of the name right now. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Okay, so let's get started. So this is Stays On ink. I haven't used it in a while, but this is pigment ink, and it can be kind of or no, they call it solvent ink. So you can use this ink and you can stamp it on anything. Like you can stamp it on plastic. And so let's stamp our sentiment right on to our plastic. And I taped it down so it wouldn't move around when I lift my stamp. Well, that's kind of perfect. I see a little smudge there. I think it's dog hair. Oh my gosh. Of course, dog hair everywhere. Life is just better with dog hair. Okay, so let's close this back up. This gets messy, so you need to have like a special solvent ink cleaner to clean your stamp once you've done that. So next what we're going to do, I'm going to let that dry. And while it is drying, let's just, we'll just lift it off our piece of paper now. And we'll take off the tape. So I figured that if you stamp it right on top of the plastic, then it won't be covered by all your shaker stuff. But the easier way to do it is to just stamp it directly onto your DSP and use like a nice dark color, like black. Okay, next we're gonna put some score tape on. Let's see where my score tape is. And of course, oh, here it is. It was hidden in my big pile. Okay. So I'm just going to use some score tape. You can also use Tombow glue. This is 1/8 of an inch score tape that I got off Amazon. Every so often I find stuff that Stampin' Up! Does not offer that I find useful in card making, so I will get it. Just like this pad that I'm using. It's called a stamping mat, and it's slightly spongy. Well, it's got a spongy sort of surface, but it's nice and flat and it's very firm, so it makes it easy for stamping. And that I got on Amazon as well. I think it's just called Stamp Matte. But again, the majority of the stuff, I would say 95% of everything I use is from Stampin' Up. Okay, now we're going to take the backing off this. And shaker cards are actually pretty easy to make. I know sometimes it's a little scary, but once you have all the materials, it's so easy. And the main thing that you would need is some sort of frame for your shaker. You need window sheets, and you need some shaker stuff, and then you need these little padded strips. And that's it. That's basically it. Okay, so I'm gonna, dog hair. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this down. And then I'm going to take my strips here. And I'm just going to lay it along the frame. And I can't seem to find my scissors. So I will need my big scissors. And once I'm finished with this card, you'll see the difference between stamping your sentiment right on the plastic and then versus stamping it on the DSP, because we'll have both. And just make sure you fill in all the gaps, like there's no opening for all your sparkles and stuff to fall out. And I'm just going to stick this tiny little piece in the corner because I'm worried that I didn't close it off well enough. Okay, so now our little window piece is all done. If you're worried about static, you can always take Embossing Buddy and do your window sheet there, and you can also use like a dryer sheet. We don't have dryer sheets, we don't use them in our home. So okay, now our next step is to pour on our little shaker beads. So I use the neutral sequins, and then some retired snowflakes from last year, and then also some retired glitter. Okay, so let's just push all this into the center. We want it nice and flat, but we want it sort of in the center so that it doesn't get stuck underneath the tape. And that's important, because if any of these sequins get stuck under the tape, you will now have a gap for the rest of the little stuff to fall out. So we're gonna take the backing off. Take the backing off our frame, and then we're going to carefully lay it right on top. And this is going to be my last video for this year, for my online class, because I'm going to resume my classes in January. I've decided to take December off because I've been so behind on this last class that it's been ridiculous. I'm a week and a half late. And we're going to try to center this. And I really just sort of eyeball it. So we have that. We're going to add a glue dot, and we're going to put a glue dot on for this card here. I think I'm going to just put it right in the corner, but I don't want to cover up my snowflake. Let's just put this down first, and then we'll add I think I'll put the smaller snowflake on top here, and then the larger one down here. And for the snowflake, I'm just going to use Tombow glue. If it works, let's just give it a little poke, and then it's going to come flying out. Sometimes I squeeze my Tombow glue really hard because it's not coming out, and then a big blob comes out, and I was like, ugh. So let's just put this down here. Now, when I was doing my kits, I didn't really think of it, but if you have rhinestones at home, you can sort of like just take one and put it in the center of the snowflake. I'm going to take a champagne one because it's what's sitting on my desk, and I'm going to bling it up. So I did not include rhinestones in the kit because I didn't think of it. But if you're an avid card maker, then I'm sure you have rhinestones at home. And we're going to put this one up here. And again, we're going to add a little champagne rhinestone. Might as well bling it up. You know what? While we're there, let's just stick a large one on too. There, now we are all blinged out on our card. And we just need to mount it. And we're going to mount it onto our card base. And we are all set. Now I think for my card I'm going to use I was going to use a thick card base, but I don't have any that are pre-cut, so. Sometimes this gets stuck and doesn't work properly. It could be user error though. It could be that I just don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well let's use my big pink one. So I'm going to just make sure I have adhesive along all the edges. And then we're going to stick this right on. And then here is our finished card. So we have two versions of it. I'm not sure which one you like more, but there we go. It's a fun shaker card, perfect for Christmas. So thanks again for joining me. Happy Wednesday. Have an awesome week. Stay safe, everyone.